Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I just spit like I saw it projectile shoot that way, so. Well, today I wanted to do a fun video. I hear my voice echoing into this jar. It's like really off-putting. It's very loud. I'm gonna be making a terrarium. Look at this. Gorgeousness right here. That right there is a cat. Isn't that fun? I'm just going to be doing like a quick little time-lapse video because it's quite a process, but for the most part I'm going to be using my time-lapse footage, which is shooting right there on my telephone. We'll go over it. We'll have like a little summary at the end, so get excited. So I finally finished this terrarium and I made quite a mess in here, so it's been interesting. But I'll just walk you through kind of the steps I did. You know, just because it's kind of hard the video would have been like 45 minutes long if I had just like filmed the entire process, because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so I kind of was just going with it, figuring it out as I went, so I didn't want to talk through that because it would have been like a lot of ums, you know? But basically, so all I did was I put the soil in first. I know a lot of people like to put rocks in the bottom for drainage. I don't think that's a good idea just because it'll just create more weird smells because there's just water sitting in the bottom of the terrarium and it has nothing to do, nowhere to go. So it's best to put soil at the bottom. Secondly, I put in a Maidenhair Fern. Now this fern it takes a lot of experience to master. You can also go with just like a Boston fern or a asparagus fern, or a plumosa fern does really well in these. But the thing about it is you do want to take the lid off every few days, if not for like a couple hours every day, just to make sure that airflow is getting through, especially with the Maidenhair Fern because its leaves are so delicate. Too much moisture can rot their leaves like pretty quickly. So you want to make sure that you take the lid off and you're not just like letting it do its thing, because, you know, she doesn't like that. She doesn't like to be ignored. That's all I'm saying. So the Maidenhair Fern was put in here first, and then I put in some Irish moss, which I think is a great choice for terrarium because if you don't have charcoal, people tend to put charcoal in terrariums, but Irish moss does a great job of absorbing all of those chemicals, just because they're a low-growing plant, and absorb all those weird smells too. So I just like to use Irish moss in place of charcoal, but you can do either or. I've also done neither and it's fine, but ideally one of those would be great. Just so you don't have weird smells going on, right? After the Irish moss, I put in a Creeping Myrtle plant. Now this plant I have never tested in a terrarium before, so I'm going to try it out, but I know for a fact I'm going to be taking the lid off quite often and maybe overnight sometimes, just to really get the airflow in there so they're not just like drowning in humidity. Not a ton of plants really enjoy a hot, humid climate, so all these plants like high humidity and shade, but not necessarily hot, like super hot, so that's why it's important to take the lid off, just to make sure that it's releasing all those gases and all that moisture buildup over time. It's really hard to have a completely closed forever terrarium. Like, that's a difficult thing to achieve, and you have to have the perfect plants. You know, you have to put in the right kind of water. Like, you really have to be very precise about how you do it. So this is more of a casual approach where you're going to be taking the lid off sometimes, but for the most part you can leave it on. So after the Creeping Myrtle plant, I just kind of like decorated it. I put some rocks in there. I put a stick in there and like a little train. See a little train right there. And then after that, I'm just going to pour some water that I let sit for 24 hours. I let the chemicals kind of dissipate. And I'm going to leave the lid off just so the water has time to like really absorb. And then I'll put the lid on, see how everyone's feeling. And every night you're going to see moisture build up on the sides of the glass, and that's completely normal. That's just the plant's natural cycle of releasing all of that water from their leaves. They're just like kind of breathing out from the whole day. So if you see moisture on the sides, that's very normal. If it seems like it's not going away or it's like an excessive amount of water, just pop the lid off and let the air kind of get in there and let the water escape. And that should help the plants just kind of release that moisture and get a little fresh air. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Wesley slept through the whole thing, so I guess he didn't really like it. It's fine. But yeah, overall, I would recommend a terrarium if you're a little more experienced, especially if you're choosing a Maidenhair Fern. Those can be testy, so you have to really be careful with them. Hope you guys liked the video. Please like, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!